Hey guys, Dana here. I'm still working on my wave, it's so awkward. I'm coming to you from my studio in Old Town Scottsdale with another episode of DINE by Design. So today I'm going to share something that we use internally, and I thought it would be helpful if you are maybe thinking about developing a new concept or want to reevaluate the one you already have. So I'll just dive right in. 3 steps to creating a awesome, unforgettable bar and restaurant concept. So step 1 is to create a narrative structure. And this is usually homework that we assign the client, or we do it internally if that's your preference together in a brainstorming group session. But what a narrative structure is something I think we were taught in high school, maybe middle school, but it's the fundamental framework for a good storyline. It includes a genre, a setting, a main character, and an event. So if I were to give you an example of a sentence that's formulated in that manner, it would be a third wave coffee shop, that's the genre, in downtown Phoenix, that's the setting. For the coffee connoisseur, that's the main character, that likes a fairly traded coffee on the go, that's the event. So by doing this, we have a really good foundation for the general concept and direction that we'll be going in. And it's really good to nail this down before all trades get involved in the process. So you've got the graphic designer and the architect and the engineers, and if we're all on the same page, then we're all working towards one mission. So that would be step 1. Step 2 is to find verbal or visual inspiration. Verbal inspiration is in the form of words, so it could be a poem, a quote, a song, a book, something that inspired you, that stirred up emotions and feelings. The other route is visual inspiration, which tends to be the direction that we go in because we are visual people and that's what we connect to the most. That's what most people connect to, I think. But to find imagery that speaks to us and that defines the overall brand. So, for example, a coffee shop client that we had in Kuwait loved vintage cars, and so we started to dig up and research vintage cars, and we're trying to find a good parallel between that and a coffee shop. And we found that the speed and the energy of a car really parallels the energy that a cup of coffee gives you. So hey, perfect, that's a good start. So then we start diving deeper, looking for imagery of vintage cars, and they could be close up, far away. I mean, you really want all perspectives of whatever it is that is inspiring you. So for us, we pulled images of retro colors that were found. We pulled imagery of detailed wooden interiors with the steering wheel and the radio and all that beautiful detail. And then we found an image of the front body detail that shows this very wing-like structure. So really all things that provoked emotion, and the client could really connect to it because of their affinity for vintage cars. So that's step 2. Step 3 is to translate whatever you pulled in step 2, whether it was verbal or visual inspiration, and start to translate it into tangible solutions. So what I mean by that is when you have something solid to reference, every decision you're making actually comes from some place. It's not just something we throw together because we like it or because it's trending at the time. It's better to select things that really have good foundational reason. So things that we pull from the imagery is style, general style of the space, a color scheme, textures found in the different materials, general shapes that are maybe seen throughout repeatedly, and it can even impact the layout of your space. So a good example would be, again, Alert Coffee and all the images that we pulled as inspiration. We ended up using a color scheme that included woods primarily from the interior of the car, but also hints of the retro reds and teals that were found in the vintage car collection color scheme, if you will. There's a lot more to see. I thought this would be easier for you to kind of visually understand if you reference the blog, so I'll place a link to that down below, and you can check out the imagery that corresponds with these 3 steps. I hope it's helpful. If you did use it, please do send me a message and tell me how it worked out for you, and even share the concept. I would love to hear it. So good luck, and I will see you next time.